One of my takeaways is, who doesn't have $5.2 million in unexplained income? That's all I'm saying. Hasn't that happened to you? Probably multiple times during your life. You go, oh, yeah, look at that. Another $5.2 million in my bank account. This stuff kind of just happens, right? And that is part of the latest Hunter Biden laptop revelation story. But there's plenty more to all of that story. None the least of which has been some of this material going back to the 2016 campaign trail, in which there was evidence of hostility between the Bidens and the Clintons. And taking a look at this scandal, we have Sean Themea, who is with the Young Americans for Liberty, joining us. Sean, I know at some point in your life, $5.2 million, it just showed up in your bank account. Nobody, even blinked, right? Happens.
Oh, it happens to me every other Wednesday, Brian. So I don't see why this is such a big deal. No, I mean, look, this should be a wake-up call to everyone across the country who's been lied to by the corporate press, that the Bidens and the Clintons, these are prime examples of people in power who should not be in power and who are abusing their influence. And I think young people are waking up to that more swiftly than they have in previous years.
Sean, you bring up an interesting point. You are with Young Americans for Liberty. Consistently, we see Joe Biden with the lowest approval rating with the youngest voters, and his highest approval rating with the oldest voters, which is interesting because that tends to run counter to what we see with Democrat politicians demographically. Now, I mean, arguably a lot of that is because you have many young leftists that feel he's not progressive enough somehow. But what is your read on this? Do you think that this is a window where a lot of people are going, you know what, this just ain't right?
Yeah, it's an incredible window to reach young people and to flip them from apolitical or leftist to center right. And I think the two main reasons for this, as to why we're seeing this with young people, comes down to, one, COVID. And they clearly saw there was one political party and one line of thought where they wanted them to be restricted and under control and stuck at home, or the freedom to do what they wanted to do and to live the life they wanted to live as a low-risk age group. And so the COVID policies are catching up with Biden and the Dems. And then simply put, you don't mess with a man's money and a man's wallet, whether it's inflation or the false promises of these stimulus checks. I mean, you remember in the Georgia Senate election, $2,000, we'll get $2,000. People barely got $600, right, in the 18 to 25 age group. So those are two main reasons I think we're starting to see people wake up, and it's a big opportunity to reach young people right now.
So, about the Hunter Biden laptop material and about the increased level of awareness, where do you think this story goes? You got a grand jury that is out there, and they've been investigating since 2019. Seems like we're reaching a point where stuff's about to happen. What say you?
Yeah, I think that you've got a great opportunity here. Not that I want to get my hopes up too high, because the deep state, right, is very dark and deep, and they protect their own. But between some of these white pills like Catherine Mizell, right, Trump-appointed judge, she overturned the mask mandates across the country just by standing up for the Constitution. Brave people like her. You've got this investigation opening up in Delaware. People didn't think there would be an investigation. The fact that there is one is a good sign. And the Democrats, I think it comes down to if they're going to turn on Biden and just say, you know what, we got to replace him with somebody else. And it's trending that way when you look at the polls, when you look at public opinion. So if you asked me a year ago, I would say, hell no way there's a shot. But I do think we got a shot this time.
I hear you, I understand, and I tend to agree. And I fashion myself as a realist who errs on the side of optimism, and I still want to believe that ultimately we are a country that has a system of justice that can work. And I think it just may, by the time this is all said and done, between this and what Durham's working on. Sean Themea, the Young Americans for Liberty. Good talking with you, Sean.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
You got it.